Hello, it's Cherokee. Ooh, I have a lot to talk about today. So I haven't even written anything, and I usually write something every single day. I haven't blogged, and I haven't posted a video in a few days. It's been at least 4 days because I had 4 days off of work, and I know that I did not write anything or post anything. But I don't beat myself up about it. Why? Because I believe in being gentle with your body and listening to your body's needs. So today, everything just kind of poured out of me, and I'm writing like all kinds of stuff. I got some great news, or I found out some great news, and I was like, oh, I gotta write about this, and then I'm gonna do a video so I can put this energy out into the universe. So I wanted to talk about a bunch of different things. Life in your 40s, of course, being gentle with your body, your spirituality, stretching, like all the things that I'm doing to move forward in my goals to strengthen my leg muscles and to be on point in ballet. So it started out a great day, and then I came home and I have a kid, so it kind of went downhill from there. And then it's late, so because I'm busy doing something I asked her to do and she didn't do it. But that's another story. So back to my positive vibes from this afternoon when I wrote this all out. Because it's late, I'm just going to share one very important point that I wanted to just put into the universe today, and that is on being kind to yourself and to your body. So 20s was great, everybody knows that. When I hit 30, my metabolism went down. I remember my primary care doctor told me, if you don't start exercising, your rate is gonna skyrocket when you get into your 40, you get into your 30s. I was like in my late 20s. I already had my daughter. I gained 30 pounds. I lost the 30 pounds. It was never a problem in my 20s losing weight at all. And then when I hit my 30s, my weight skyrocketed, just like he said. In fact, I went in there, and I went in there actually for a colonic. I was like, do you have any like coffee colonics? It was like the cool thing at that time. He was like, you don't need a colonic. You just have to diet and exercise. And I'm like, yeah, we all know that, but I don't want to do that. So, 5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever maybe I wanted to lose. Who knows? I was pretty much in shape in my 20s. Or really my whole life. I never really had a problem until my 30s. So he goes, yeah, we're not doing a colonic, and you're going to have to diet and exercise. And if you don't, by the time you turn 30, your weight's going to skyrocket. So I'm like, skyrocket? My weight's going to skyrocket? Aren't you exaggerating a little bit? No, he wasn't exaggerating at all. Yeah, your weight will skyrocket if you don't take care of your body in your 30s. Yeah, my weight went up, and I didn't even realize it because I didn't have a full-length mirror. I still don't have a full-length mirror. Um, But in your 40s, your metabolism lowers even more. And I feel like if you're not already taking care of your body, which for me was always like up and down, weight was always up and down. It was, and but if you're not consistent with that, the 40s is like a beast. Like it's serious. So it's harder to exercise. As a woman, hormones are all out of whack. Premenopausal, it might be TMI, but it's a reality in your 40s. Um, Gosh, I used to be able to like lift and move heavy things. Like I just recently moved. Well, not recently, 6 months ago, but then I was in school and finishing that up. So I'm still unpacking boxes and whatever. But this move, I couldn't lift all the heavy furniture I normally lift alone. Needed help, major help, and I got tired a lot quicker than ever before. Like it's serious. I'm like, what is going on? Like it just kind of sneaks up on you. And I'm still in my early 40s. I'm only 42. And it's like, gosh, I mean, for the first time in my life, I feel like I am getting OLD. I don't even want to say it, but that's what it feels like. I have gray hairs, like my hormones are not balanced, and it is something serious. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, especially in your 30s, begin to take care of yourself. Yeah, you cannot wait on this. Now, I don't really beat myself up about it because I worked 7 days a week. I worked 2 jobs for more than a decade. I worked at times 3 jobs, and I always had a side hustle going on. So I did that so I could afford um, activities and things like that for my daughter, all the things you never had kind of thing. I didn't really do, like TV in the bedroom. I don't believe in that. But I do believe in investing in your kid heavily. So she wasn't a lot of activities. Daycare is expensive, rent's expensive, all of that. So I did what I had to do, and I worked multiple jobs. I worked 7 days a week as a result. And I always spent time with my daughter. We had one mommy and me day every month, and homework every single night. My second job was on the weekend. In fact, my 2 other jobs that I had were concentrated on the weekend so that I could spend time with her during the week, because I believe that parents should be very involved in their kids' lives. You should know what's going on. TV should be kept to an absolute minimum and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I was that parent, and yes, her grades showed, it reflected in that. So I think I did an okay job. She thinks I did an okay job. So it's done now, and I'm taking my life back. And yeah, I didn't consider the whole part where it's like really hard, because everything's harder. Like exercise is harder, like everything's harder. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks, but I am making it not suck. So I'm getting to my good news. So over the past 4 days, I took off Friday, I was off Saturday and Sunday, and I was off Monday. 4 glorious days. I had like all these plans I'm going to do, 15, 20 things on my list and get super organized. And yeah, so almost none of that happened. Because, like I said, I'm premenopausal. So for me, this like a period, it's not even a period. I call it my moon cycle now. It just sounds more holistic, and it kind of just does what it wants to do. It's not like a normal, you expect the same thing every month. Every month I have no idea what to expect. So this month, it was coming, but not really. It was not even, it was just around. And I had one day where I felt really swollen, and normally every month, when it's time for my moon cycle, I just like very quiet and withdrawn, and I really do a lot of meditating and that kind of thing, just being in touch with my body. And that's helped me a lot. Since this has been happening with my body, my hormones all out of whack, just trying to meditate and bring everything back into alignment has been very helpful. Last week I got something called ashwagandha root, which is supposed to balance your hormonal level. I feel a big difference. I went to my PCP yesterday. I asked for more blood work because my prolactin was actually high. I don't know if that's TMI, but hey, it's reality. And I said, I want to check it again because I feel a big difference. And I see a big difference since just less than a week that I've been taking this ashwagandha root. So that's in the works. So with my exercise routine, I did very little. I did almost nothing. I don't even know if I left the house for 4 days, to be honest. I think I did leave once or twice to go run errands. Like Sunday, I was like, hey, I gotta do shopping and do things like that. Then came back in the house and didn't do much. Like one day I would do like my arm lifts with the 15-pound weight or whatever that is. Or another day I did my leg lifts, and I literally did like one pirouette on each side one of the days. I did very little. And then what I do is I try to sit with myself and figure out, like, is this me trying to be lazy, or like, what is this? And then I realized I was getting my, my hormonal moon cycle thing was doing whatever it was doing. And I said, let me just do what I've been doing, which is to be gentle with my body at this time. Because in your 40s, you gotta, like, whatever book you've been using, you're gonna have to get a new book. You are not as young as you used to be, no matter what anybody tells you. Yeah, everybody tells me, oh, you look young. Yeah, okay, yeah. My gray hairs and my body is definitely not in my 20s or my 30s. So, yeah, there's just a reality check. So that's not fun. But I'm getting to the fun part. So, very little exercise, but I did a lot of meditation. I joined a new spiritual group, which I was going to talk about in this video, but I'm going to save it for another day because it's actually like all encompassing, and it's a week-long thing, so maybe I'll reevaluate it after a week. Very, very little exercise, meditation, and then I'm like, oh, I should probably force something. So I was trying to do exercises, but it felt too forced. So I said, nope, let me just do what I know works, be gentle with my body. And the reason why I wasn't worried about it is because years ago, like early 20s, before kid, all of that, I remember if I would go like a few days without exercising, just to give my body a rest, because I used to exercise every day back in the day. When I would start up again, like maybe 2, 3 days later, I was super strong, super balanced. Like it was amazing. It was like didn't skip a beat almost. So this time around, I'm like, well, 4 days is kind of a lot. I don't know. But I did do a couple things just to not forget. You're supposed to be exercising here, or strength training, really. But yeah, but it is what it is. My hormones were acting out of whack. I took care of my body. I heavily believe in listening to your body. If your body says rest, then you need to rest. If you can, you need to rest and find a way to bring things back into balance. So anyway, today's Tuesday. So I go into work. I get up this morning and I said, back on the routine. I do my meditation and my breath work and prayer and all that stuff. I go into work. And I said, here we go. I'm going to start doing my strength training again. And one of the first things I did was what I call a thigh stretch, which is, I did another video on it. I'm just standing on one leg, on my left leg and then my right leg for as long as I can. So when I first started, this was probably, I don't know, a couple years ago. I've been slowly working toward this moment, toward my 40s. And I just standing in line, I would stand on one leg and it was literally like a few seconds. That's all I could do. Especially at the time, I used to have a bad hip. I don't have a bad hip anymore. But at that time I did, and it was kind of painful. But anyway, today I am up to a minute, 1 minute on each leg. And right at a little over a minute, let's say a minute and 15 seconds. At a minute, I can still go a little bit more. And then within that 15 seconds, I start feeling that burning, and I'm like, okay, stop doing that and go to the other leg. So that's how it's been this past, I guess it's been a month and a half so far, something like that. And, I've just been slowly incrementing, like by a few seconds here and there. So, but I generally say like 1 minute, even though I know I can do a little bit over 1 minute. I go into work today and I said, let me start with my thigh stretch, which is also a combination of a thigh stretch and a balance. So if you do yoga, it'd be like a tree pose, except my leg is not out to the side. I just hold my leg back. And I balanced on my right foot, which is my weaker leg, for a full 3 minutes. And at 3 minutes, I could have went longer. And the only reason I stopped at 3, I was like, what is going on? I stopped at 3 minutes because I'm at my desk and there's a lot of traffic actually. And I'm just standing there for 3 full minutes on one leg, like amazed. And I'm watching the clock the whole time. So 1 minute came and went. And what I felt was this surge in my leg up, and then it disappeared. And I'm like, okay, that was weird. What is that? Went a whole another minute. And then again, that weird surge in my leg. I have leg issues, which I think in one of the earlier videos I talked about. One of the reasons why I want to do ballet is so that I can increase the muscles in my leg and my ankles and my feet. That is extremely important to me. I want to take care of my body so that by the time I'm older, I can still walk and do other things to enjoy my life with. So I can talk about that in another video. But today, 3 full minutes on one leg, and I could have gone longer. I was fine at 3 minutes. I was amazed. I was blown away. Now, why did that happen? Okay, so in the 4 days that I was off and I wasn't really doing much, I always do my stretching. That has to happen. That's because I had plantar fasciitis years ago, and I do not want that thing to come back. When I had it years ago, the doctor was talking about like surgery and stuff. I was getting those shots in my foot. And I'm like, yeah, before surgery, let me investigate a couple of things because I don't want to make a smaller problem much larger. Because once you have surgery, of course, things get complicated. So I was going to talk about what I did to correct that problem. It was related to this. But this video is already at 15 minutes, so I don't really like my videos to be that long. So I'll talk about that in another video. But with the plantar fasciitis, I don't ever want that to come back, which it will come back if you don't take care of yourself. So once I got rid of it the first time, then it kind of fell off of doing what I was supposed to do, which was like this deep stretching that I used to do with my feet. Stopped that for a while, and then it started coming back. And I was like, no, I can't live with this. It's excruciatingly painful, especially first thing in the morning. I don't have time for no plantar fasciitis, so I always stretch my feet. I may not do as intense as I would like to, but I always stretch my feet, and I have not had plantar fasciitis, and I don't even know how many. It's been at least, I don't even know, maybe 8 years or so. It's been a long time. Where was I going with that? Plantar fasciitis. Oh, so I always stretch my feet. So because I wasn't doing a lot exercise-wise, I said, let me take this time to really focus on stretching, what I call stretching the hell out of my feet. And I'd have to do a whole other video on how to do that because there is pain involved. The reason it's called stretching the hell out of your foot is there is pain involved. And that is how I was able to overcome plantar fasciitis. But I still have in my lower ankle area, there's weakness there. Even when I was trying to do like a demi plie, go on demi point on my right leg, I couldn't even go up that high. On my left leg, I was finally making it like to a full demi point, but on my right leg, it was still weak. However, today, when I practiced releves on each leg, I went up on full demi point on my right leg. Again, that's my weaker leg. And then not so much now on my left leg. It goes back and forth. When I notice one leg is weaker than the other, I tend to focus more on that leg, and then that leg becomes the weakest one, and I focus on the other leg. So it kind of bounces back and forth. That's how I always do things. I know like with dancers and stuff, usually people have one leg that's stronger than the other. Because I take note of that and I work on that leg that's the weaker one, it always fluctuates back and forth for me. So as of right now, it was always my right leg for the past few years. But as of today, it's now my left leg and now my right leg. It's the stronger leg. Better at balancing, better at a demi releve. I don't know what you can call that when you rise up on demi point. And yeah, so I was ecstatic. I'm like, I can't believe I held this pose on one leg for 3 full minutes, and I could have went longer. And I can't believe that I had a full demi point on my right leg. Couldn't have been happier. And that's after 4 days of off, like doing very little, almost nothing exercise. Okay, so super happy about that. And I was like, I gotta share that with the world, because you have to be gentle with your body and listen to your body. Now I know also from the past, you can't go too long because then your body will forget. So I think if you go like 2 weeks or something, at least for me, if you go too long, then your body's like, yeah, I guess you gave up. And it goes back. But yeah, a couple days, 2, 3 days, 4 days, you should be okay. So I had wonderful results, and I was ecstatic about that progress. And this is the kind of thing that just makes me feel so good. I believe that any progress that you can make, doesn't matter what kind of movement forward, as long as it's moving forward. If it's 1 centimeter forward, if it's 1 millimeter forward, at least it's forward. So that's how I look at things. That's how I've always looked at things. I'm not a downer person. People think I'm optimistic, or I always see the bright side of things, and it's like, yeah, because there is always a bright side of everything. So anyway, but yeah, so that was my great news for myself. So I just wanted to share that, and I wanted to remind people in your 40s, if you're like me, who are so focused on working and raising kids that you neglected to take time for yourself. When you come back in your next life, don't do that. And B, it's never too late. You can definitely take the bull by the horns once these kids get grown. They can take care of themselves. Um, I don't cook anymore. She can cook. 18. You about to go to college in 2 months? Please. You can cook or not cook and go hungry. Okay? So you know what she's been doing? Eating out every day. Whatever floats your boat. I don't even care anymore. I'm like, I'm so done. I can't, you know. With this school year and my daughter going through the system, I have found that I have a certain way that I want to raise my daughter. It is not in line with how the world thinks kids should be raised. I do not think that kids should be raised to be 18-year-old babies. I think from the time they're born, 1-year-old, 2-year-old, they can do a chore, anything. For me, I used to have her sort her socks and her clothes. I taught her how to fold. You can think of things for them to do. A little garbage can, their little garbage can in their room. They can put it into the bigger one. They can always help. I believe in chores. I believe in education at a young age. If you can read, your kid should read. Okay? If you know how to read thoroughly, there's no reason why your kid, I'm not judging, but really there's no reason why your kid can't read. Okay? You should be able to at least teach your kid what you yourself know. But anyway, um, I guess I'm saying all this because I'm kind of upset with the journey, like especially once we moved and to middle school and high school, and seeing that these teachers really wanted to treat my daughter like a baby, like constant text messaging reminders about like doing homework. And it's like, yeah, I'm not reminding a high schooler to do her homework because she's in school, and with school comes homework, and with homework, if I say I have homework, well, then I must be in school, right? It goes hand in hand. So I'm not doing that. Stop text messaging me every single day and sending me emails about things that I'm just not going to do. I don't believe in that, and I'm not doing it. So um, at this point, there's been quite a lengthy journey with the school system. And because they're in school all day and they're around kids, they see the difference. They see what's I have to do chores. These kids don't have to do chores. And listening to their teachers about things, to me, it created a level of toxicity that was continuously frustrating. It's like, I'm not doing that. I'm not raising you like that. And so there was a lot of things that were at odds. And I'll give you just a quick example. Like, I always made my daughter be on the honor roll, gently encouraged. But there's no reason, there's no reason. You can do it. You're not going to be on playing video games for 5 hours or whatever. It's not going to help you in your life. And then say you don't have time to do your homework. Like, I'm not even playing with that. If you have time to be on Snapchat for 2 hours, then you could use those 2 hours to be studying for your test. That's how I look at things, and that's how I've always done it. So to have teachers who want to encourage parents to just sit back, let the TV raise their child, and this is the new cool parenting thing that we do, I do not believe in that at all. I believe that breeds children who are financially irresponsible, who are careless, who do not want to cooperate with the family unit because they're selfish minded. They don't see themselves as part of a whole. So, a lot of frustration with that whole system. Obviously, I'm getting way off track with my great news for today. But yeah, so if you're a parent, you're going to totally be able to relate because there's a lot to balance. There's a lot to balance between you wanting to love yourself and be in this world with a chaotic world that's like, yeah, just spin your wheels and go to work and slave away at a job all day, and that's what matters the most. And yeah, I'm taking my life back now. I want to enjoy myself now. I'm tired of working. I've been working one job now for a few years now, and it feels wonderful. It can be done. I never really believed that it could be done. And I'm not paying for daycare and 1,000 different activities and whatnot, theater and, I don't know, rock climbing, all the swimming lessons, all that stuff. I'm not paying for any of that stuff anymore because my daughter is 18. And for the most part, I feel like I've taught her everything I know, and she is thoroughly prepared. There was a lot of pushback with the rest of the world. And at the end of the day, the information was presented. And that's all I can do. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink the water, right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. And so, yeah, I gave up like my whole entire life. Do not recommend that, by the way. But yeah, I did that, and it is what it is. So it's done, and I'm done with that. And the door is almost closed. It's not closed yet because she's still 18 and still needs a little more guidance and obviously support. But that chores and all that stuff, she's got one chore a week. Do it, or I'll stand there and make you do it in the morning. You're going to do it still, you know. So anyway, it is what it is. But back to my great news. Being kind with your body and not allowing, you know, the world and kids and all of that to take away from that. And that is a gift to myself. I used to allow all of that to upset me when things were, I'm a perfectionist, so things weren't perfect. I wasn't happy. But yeah, I've learned to relinquish the perfectionism, and to reinvest, because I found this out through someone or somewhere. Take that perfectionism, which is, it's self-defeating sometimes. Like in a lot of ways, it was great. It helped me a lot in my life. But at the same time, you can be a slave to it, and it can be self-defeating. So take that perfectionism and reinvest it in yourself. So that's what I do. I am no longer a perfectionist for work or a perfectionist for anyone else except for myself. And it feels terrific. It feels wonderful. I feel like I'm investing in myself, I'm taking care of myself, and like I'm loving myself because I love myself. So there you go. So yeah, in your 40s, it kind of sucks, but you can make it suck even less by taking care of yourself. Appreciate yourself and honor your soul. This has been my mantra for several years since I got it off of a Yogi tea bag. And yeah, so I think that was it. I had a lot to talk about. Whatever I left off, I'm going to have to put in another video because I'm already at 27 minutes, which is way longer than I would like to normally do for a video. But yeah, that was it. So peace and love and positive energy, I am putting that out into the world for anyone who wants it. And as long as I create and as long as I put that wonderful feeling out into the world, it raises our total vibration. We are all one mankind, one humanity. You see, this is what I'm talking about. You see the rudeness? She hears me talking in here. She's just going to keep knocking louder. But that's okay. We are all one humanity on this planet. We are one humanity on this planet. So please learn to love yourself and learn to be gentle with yourself in your 40s, which is what this channel is about. All right? Take care.